Diolch yn fawr iawn, Elfyn. Diolch am y geiriau caredig. Diolch am dy holl gyfraniadau. Mae wedi bod bron i 19 mis, dwi'n meddwl, i ti cyhoeddi'r fwriad i ymddeol o wleidydda fel aelod seneddol. Mae'n anodd yn di bod rhwng dau gyflwr, a hir bob aros wrth gwrs. A dwi'n bersonol diolchgar am yr holl gymorth a chyngor dwi wedi cael gyda ti ers yr ynwebiad. Mae dy gysgodi di yn y cymorthfeydd yn agoriad llyged ac yn wers, wirioneddol. Ac mae'r lle wrth gwrs i Plaid Cymru fod yn ddiolchgar am ansawdd eich gwaith fel aelod seneddol ac arweinydd y tîm yn Llundain dros y blynyddoedd. Fwy nag unwaith, dwi wedi clywed bobl sydd wedi symud i fyw yn etholaeth ac sy'n fwy arfer i aelodau seneddol y pleidiau Prydeinig yn wrth mynegu syndod pa mor aml roedden nhw'n gweld i aelod seneddol y Plaid Cymru a pha mor hawdd oedd trefnu cael sgwrs un gyda chdi. A hynny wrth gwrs ochr yn ochr a llwyddiannau trawsbleidiol mewn deddfwriaeth ym meysydd stelcian, trais yn y cartre, hawliau dioddefwyr a sawl maes arall. A llwyddiannau gwleidyddol megis yr ymgyrch i uchelcyhuddor cyn Prif Weinidog Tony Blair ac wrth gwrs dy waith diflino gyda gymchwiliad Chilcot. Miwn fod terngedau lu wedi talu i chdi yn y gynadledd heddiw yma wrth gwrs yn ôl yn y hydre. Hefyd yn San Steffan, nos Fercher, ac yn y Pengwern yn Llan Ffestiniog bythefnos yn ôl. Miwn hefyd fod y teulu, y leri a'r wirion, ar ei hennill o dy gael di adre'n amlach, a da o beth ydy hynny. Ond dwi yn gobeithio bod gen i ti fwy gyfrannu na diflaniad di symwth i'r bar. A dwi wedi clywed y joc am y ddau bar mwy nag unwaith hefyd. Mae ar Gymru angen wleidyddion profiadol sy'n gallu gwireddu newidiadau yn Llundain a Chaerdydd yn ogystal â chodi llais a mynnu bod bobl eraill yn gwrando. Felly, paid yn mynd yn ddistaw a paid yn mynd yn bell. Dyma felly dy gynhadledd ola fel aelod seneddol ac o bosib gobeithio fy nghynhadledd ola fel dynas rydd. Ac am gyfle felly ni ddod at yn gilydd a codi'r awydd am yr ymdrech fawr ola cyn yr etholiad ar y 7th o Fai. Don't go from here empty-handed. Clear the decks to get the teams out in Anglesey and Ceredigion and Llanelli and Aberconwy, and Arfon, Carmarthen East, Dwyfor Meirionnydd and every other constituency the length and breadth of Wales. We have had in this conference, haven't we, an inspirational, rousing speech from Leanne, and let's put her advice into action. Wales, she said, Wales should be a little less well-behaved. Wales should indeed be far less well-behaved. We've seen what well-behaved gets us. It gets us the crumbs at the table. We've heard from candidates and leaders. Jonathan Edwards' standing ovation. Howell Williams' walkabout with Leanne in Caernarfon today. A little windy, but it's worth saying that Plaid Cymru has made the best of a fantastic opportunity to showcase to Caernarfon for the last couple of days. And also Richard Wyn-Jones's creation myth for Plaid Cymru. Not just the founding fathers in Pwllheli, but also the dreams and ambitions of a Gwerinwr, Evan Alwyn Owen, who had to borrow the bus fare to travel from Rhydd to Caernarfon. It's been a good conference, but now back to work. And at the close of the day now, what I'd like to do is make a roundup, and I know others have referred to these too, but the events a week ago, St David's Day events, and what they mean to Wales, because they were very interesting brought together. Firstly, of course, still no national holiday. The English may be a little embarrassed by St George, but there's really no need for us to be squeamish about Dewi Sant. And still, there are parades. I had a great time last Saturday carrying an enormous flag around in Pwllheli, parades springing up all over the place. And these joyous celebrations must be encouraged in the face of an establishment which prefers to keep Welsh culture within the comfortable stereotypes, a gloss of bilingualism, a whiff of rugby testosterone, and a shimmer of Celtic mist. but nothing too challenging. And of course, we've had the St David's Day agreement launched by David Cameron and the Welsh Secretary Stephen Crabb in, of all stereotypes, the Millennium Stadium. What a piece of pre-election publicity puff. I weighed it. It weighs 300 grams, all 60 pages of it, and our Tory governors refer to it as a command paper. It is a weighty and substantial document in all senses except its contents. It promises a grand new regime of fiscal autonomy for Wales in the form of a funding floor, the level of which, can't be revealed until it's agreed at the next spending review, and which appears not to have been discussed with George Osborne. A funding floor from the Tory party, hell-bent on forging ahead with a second term of neoliberalist public sector demolition. I'll spare you the metaphors about floors and their levels, but it's not going to be an increase in funding. Not under the circumstances. And suddenly, the Welsh Labour First Minister is falling over himself to make comparisons between Wales and Scotland and scrabbling around for reasons to avoid discussing the political implications of the devolved income tax question. The St David's Day Agreement is entitled Powers for a Purpose, and its underlying theme is, once again, the two Westminster parties using the arena of Wales as a sparring ground to knock each other about the head. The gladiatorial Tories accusing Labour of wallowing in power without responsibility, and Labour, as always, hissingly vicious about any threat to their fiscal lifeline. That the St David's Day paper promotes a reserve powers model is to be greeted, but look at what's reserved to London. Policing, welfare, broadcasting, energy over 350 megawatts. Seamlessly, we might be drawn into a semantic argument about what a reserve powers model actually means, and it isn't the status quo, with a few crumbs to Cardiff. But reserve powers is not a term to bandy around loosely. How dare the Tories cynically take the language of self-determinism, the rhetoric of home rule, as sticky plaster slogans to hide the sheer poverty of their ambition for Wales. The actor Michael Sheen, and I'm sure many of you have seen the clip on Facebook or one way or another. The actor Michael Sheen, he said, again, of course, last Saturday on St David's Day, to those across the whole party political spectrum, and to anyone in a position of power or authority, I ask you to search your heart and look at who and what you serve. Look at who and what you serve. This is not difficult for us in Plaid Cymru. We serve the people of Wales and we are answerable to them and them alone. We may not always get everything right. We may not rub along comfortably with the media. We may not wear power as sartorially as those London politicians who are so long accustomed to it. But our every policy and statement is designed with the well-being of the people of Wales as our first, last and only priority. When Wales sends a strong Plaid Cymru team to London, the voice of Wales is strong and unalloyed. A strong Plaid Cymru voice in London will raise the call for change. Change for the better, for a better, fairer Wales, and a Plaid Cymru government in Cardiff in 2016. Awn ni weithio, let's get to work. Diolch yn fawr.